What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Justin, the barber instructor brewer, and we're back with another video. This time we're going to be doing a Baldfade plus design. Right now we're doing our client consultation and getting to know our client. For the most part, this is my second video of 2023. Let's get it, man. Let's go. All right, right now we're moving on to step 2, which is brush or comb the hair. You're gonna want to do this so you can lift the hair up off the scalp. And you're gonna want to do this so when you're cutting the hair, you can get a nice smooth transition when you're cutting it. All right, family, we're gonna be setting our guidelines for step 3, and we're gonna be doing this with no guard. I'm using my magic clips, my gold magic clips, and I don't have the guard on at all. I just got them 0 gap and I got them closed. And I'm just setting my guidelines all the way around. I like to set my guidelines all the way around my client head because it gives me a good sense of direction of where I want to go when I start my blend. All right, family, we're at step 4, and we're gonna set our second guideline, and we're gonna be using a 0 guard and a 1 guard. I put this on there because I freestyle with in between my blends with a 0 guard and a 1 guard. But for the most part, I'm using a 1 guard, and I got it all the way open, and I'm just setting my second guideline. All right, when you're doing your blends, you just want to take your time, be professional as possible. Just stretch your blend as much as possible. Use your corners. You can use the flat end of the blade. I mean, it all depends on you. But the best thing to do is just have patience with yourself. Just try to critique your work as much as possible. Don't try to be in one area too long or nothing like that. But just do your thing, man. All right, I'm debulking around the weight line, and I'm just knocking all that weight down, and I'm just getting a better transition for my blend and just getting a prep for my next step, which I'm gonna be using a 1 1/2 guard to stretch that blend even more. Made it to step 5, and I'm gonna be blending with my 1 1/2 guard. I love this guard. It's one of my favorite guards, and you're gonna want to use this guard to debulk and just knock a lot of that weight down and just stretch that blend. Just get that upper area, like up under that hair, so you can see that whole transition even more. All right, so right now we're gonna focus on moving all lines of demarcation. During this process, I like to freestyle a little bit. I like to jump from my 1, I like to jump from my 0, I like to jump to my 1 1/2, all through this process, and I just like to freestyle through and just try to hit everything thoroughly.
Exclusive, baby. Yo, Benji.
The process of removing your lines of demarcation, you're going to be doing a lot of just nitpicking and detailing a lot through this whole process. For the most part, you just want to be patient, sufficient, and just as thorough as possible. Step 7, during this process, I like to clean my blend, go back and detail my work, and just make sure everything is clean, nice and tidy, and just so I can won't have to do too much when I get to the end of my cut, because at the end of my cut, I'm still gonna go back in detail as well. But for the most part, I just like to make sure my blend is nice and clean. All right, right now we're gonna be prepping our lineup. During this process, I like to get my comb, and I like to brush, like comb or I brush through the lineup process and kind of lift the lift the hair up off the line. Then I'll kind of give me some holding spray or some wrap lotion or whatnot. But for the most part, the holding spray kind of holds the hair in place, and I give me a blow dry, lock it on in, so I can when I get to take my liners and line this haircut up, it's gonna be nice and crispy, man. It's gonna make a nice crisp texture look. Like it's gonna make that white line without having to use your pencil. All right, right now we at step 9. We're gonna be lining up our client. Well, during this process, I like to start through the middle, and I go from right to left or left to right. It doesn't matter. It all depends on you and your preference. But for the most part, I just try to make sure everything is just straight as possible. All right, so we at step 10. I'm gonna be using a black ice barber pencil. It's called a magic pencil as well. For the most part, you can get these at any local hair store. You're gonna use this to just basically highlight your edge up, and just the pencil is just basically a concealer for your lineup. It just makes everything pop. But I like to do this for the most part before I add my enhancements, or sometimes I add my barber magic pencil right after I use my enhancements. But right now, I'm just gonna use it before I use my enhancements. Baldfade family, man, I want to say I appreciate y'all for rocking with me too, all these videos, man, and showing me love and sharing my videos, man, and adding me on Instagram and Facebook and all that, man. I really appreciate the love. I'm gonna keep rocking with y'all all 2023, and from now on, like, I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep putting out more videos and more content all year long, man. Y'all just be patient with me.
Yo, Benji.
For the most part, I'm gonna be adding color to his beard too. I'm gonna add a little enhancements to his beard to bring it on out some, but I'm just using the pencil just to highlight the areas that I'm gonna start my lineup at, so I won't push them back or anything. All right, family, so we at step 11. We almost at the end of the video as well, but we're gonna be adding our enhancements. Right now, I'm using my Kiss Express. I mix this on my own. I'm gonna do a video later on. Eventually, I'm gonna put out a video where I'm gonna show you guys how to make this. But I make my own enhancements. I don't really like to buy mine. I just like to make it up myself. But for the most part, I'm using the Kiss Express. I like to add my color to the areas that need to be hit, like on his hairline. And I like to add color to his beard just to bring it out some more. As of right now, you guys can see me adding color to the beard. I like to add it to the beard as well to just make it pop out some more. I like to do it on certain specific clients, but not all of them. But for the most part, he's requested this a lot, so I like to do it on him. All right, so we at step 12, and we're gonna be blending in our Barber Magic Pencil. For the most part, I'm gonna take my liners, which I'm using my wall detailers, my gold wall detailers. You can get these from Walls, any wall website, or you can pretty much get it for any hair store if they have them in stock. But for the most part, I'm using my wall detailers, and I'm just gonna blend the pencil into the lineup. I'm not gonna reline them up or nothing. I'm just blending the pencil into the lineup, so like the areas I already hit already. So now we at step 13 and we're gonna detail the cut. You're just gonna basically go back through and just blend everything, clean up, get everything prepped for your design. Just make sure everything is all, ain't no excess from the enhancements left over or none of that. You just wanna make sure everything is detailed, nice and precise. You wanna make sure your fade is clean. You wanna make sure your blend is there. You just wanna make sure everything is precise. Family, we're at step 14, and I'm not gonna cap, man. I really just freestyled the design. Like, I didn't have no kind of process of what kind of direction I was gonna go and none of that. I just kind of just freestyled and just kind of went what was in my imagination at that point. But for the most part, I'm starting my design and I'm just using my corner. And I like to use my corners when I do my design and get a nice crisp, line, like I'm doing a lineup. You want to do the same thing like you're doing for a lineup, But for the most part, you just want to take your time and just make sure everything is nice and crispy, and just, kind of find a different direction of what you want to go. But me personally, like I said, I freestyled the design, so I really have no kind of clue of what direction where I was going. See, man, during this process, I'm just letting my imagination work. I'm just letting my creative juices flow. I'm not trying to overdo it or nothing. I said I was just gonna kind of go with a basic kind of tribal design, that something I can just kind of think of, but as I was going along. But for the most part, man, like I said, I didn't have no kind of clue. I just kind of freestyled this, and this is just what it went for. But for the most part, just continue to watch me work and watch everything fall out, like, just fall in place. All right, family, to all my new barbers and seasoned barbers out there, man, I like to give a lot of wisdom and knowledge in my videos. And for the most part, man, I just want to say, man, to all my barbers out there, I want to say keep grinding, keep being consistent, man. You just got to stay hungry in this industry at all times. For the most part, man, challenge yourself, man. Just challenge yourself to your greatest potential, until you reach your greatest potential, man. But for the most part, just keep grinding, man, and keep shining. you guys can see my freestyle design, how it's coming out. But for the most part, I'm just trying to keep my lines as sharp as possible. I'm just trying to keep everything nice and crispy. Like I said, when you're doing these designs, you kind of want to go through like the same way, like the same process, like as you're doing a lineup. Just move from step to step, right to left, left to right, and you just want to make your curves and stuff like that as crispy as possible, and use your wrist a lot too during this process. All right, family, we're at step 15, and we're gonna be adding color to our design. So basically, you just want to take your Barber Magic pencil, which is the black ice pencil, and you just want to, just color in the areas where you lined it up at, where you put your design in at, and you're gonna want to go back over it with your liners in the process. Alright, family, we're at step 16, and you're gonna want to clean the design area. Alright, from the last step that we did when we added the pencil in, we basically went in and just lined it, went back and reblended that pencil into the design and made everything pop, made it stand out a little bit more. But for the most part, you just want to freestyle and kind of blend and clean up around the whole entire cut as well. But for the most part, you're just going to want to make sure your design is nice and crispy before you move to the next process. As you can see, I went back and cleaned up the design area. I made sure everything was nice and crispy. I made sure everything was nice and clean. I went back and blended out everything, just made sure everything was thorough and clean so I can move on to my next step. Alright, right now we at step 17, and I'm using a wet and wavy leave-in conditioner. You can get this at pretty much any local hair store. And I'm using a sponge as well, and you're gonna want to blend that conditioner into the hair with the sponge, and it's gonna give it a nice curly texture. And you're just gonna want to do this when you're using these type of styles or haircuts. Only on certain clients that they request, but for the most part, he requested this, so I put in the conditioner and made everything spongy, and it's gonna give it like a curly texture look. Step 18, and you know me, man, I love to detail my work and I love to detail my cut. And for the most part, we're just gonna make sure everything is nice and clean. We're gonna just make sure everything is, just ready and on point, and just double check everything and just make sure your client is good. I wanted to show this whole process because I wanted to show you guys like how important it is to detail your work and to make sure everything is good, man. Like for the most part, I went back and took my liners and made sure everything was crispy. I went back and took my clippers and blended everything again, made the blend pop more and all. But for the most part, detailing your work is very essential, man. You gotta do it. It's mandatory. I advise every barber to do so. Remember, man, consistency is key, man. It's one of my favorite words, one of my favorite phrases as well, man. Consistency. Consistency is key, man. I always remember that, man. You gotta be consistent with everything you do in this industry. And we're at step 19, which is our final step, and you're just gonna wanna make sure everything's clean, man, and just make sure everything's precise. For the most part, guys, man, I wanna say I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, man, and standing strong with me, man, and rocking with my movement. For the most part, man, you guys can follow me at on IG at GorillaFaze_barbershop30. For the most part, you can follow me at Facebook at Justin the Barber Instructor Brewer. And I appreciate you guys, man. Just keep watching, man. All 2023, man. I'm dropping nothing but heat, man. Just keep watching.
I was hoping to be